So when my husband asks me what I want or what I need from him, there are times where I have no fucking idea. And what's funny is that he's asking me a very reasonable question. At least I see it as reasonable. And at its core, I know that he is just trying to understand me and wants to know what would help. But sometimes I can't access an answer. And the longer I sit trying to find one, the more overwhelmed and irritated I can get. And I'm also not irritated at him. My brain is becoming increasingly pissed off by the assignment because answering what I need is going to require me to do a fucking ton, right? I have to figure out what's happening internally. I have to make sense of it. I have to identify what might help. I have to organize all of that information, find the words for that information, and then I have to fucking communicate it with him. And not for nothing, but if I'm already overwhelmed or I'm emotionally aroused, now my brain is trying to do all of that under even more mental weight. And I know I'm not alone because this happens with so many of my clients. And this is where, ADHD and emotional dysregulation can create this really fucking shitty feedback loop, because the more overwhelmed I get because I can't figure out the answer, the harder it can become to use that prefrontal system, aka executive functioning, that's involving your working memory, your inhibition, your cognitive flexibility, all of that stuff to help you organize the information to answer the fucking question of how can I help? What do you need? What do you want? So now I can't figure out what I need. I'm getting frustrated because I can't figure out what I need. And the frustration is making it even fucking harder to figure out what I need. Literal fucking clusterfuck loop here. Meanwhile, my poor husband, I know, he was just trying to fucking help. And I know one piece of advice that others give in this situation is just then to have your partner give you options, which I have a love-hate relationship with that approach for many reasons, and maybe a future video rant might be in order, but that advice here sucks monkey balls because my husband also has ADHD. So now we're asking his brain to generate and organize all that information my brain currently can't generate and organize. And, sometimes that does work depending on where we're at. It's all going to be context dependent. But other times it's not, because what we've just done is we're trying to move that executive function assignment across the room. All of this came to mind because I was talking to a client yesterday about this broader idea of building systems around how our brains function. And we were able to talk through, what tends to happen for them, where things start becoming difficult, what they have access to in those moments, mapping out, right? And what could realistically make that process easier without creating another giant task for either person. And that is the part I want people thinking more about, because I can hand you, let's say, an ADHD relationship strategy that sounds fucking fantastic. But if it requires executive functioning that neither person reliably has access to when they need the strategy, it's not much of a fucking accommodation, now is it? It's just going to be another fucking assignment. The system has to fit the brains that have to use it. And the best time to figure out what you need when you're overwhelmed is not when you're fucking overwhelmed. So save this video, watch it with your partner, begin mapping, exploring with each other, and figure out what indeed your patterns are in this dynamic and see if you can create a system together.